Hi, good afternoon. My name is Barbara Butler, and I'm the host of Conversations with Barbara. And tonight I'm sitting here having a conversation with Tempie Satcher. We're going to talk about her becoming a caregiver for her parent. Tempie, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, hello everyone. And first, thank you for having me here. This is a great topic. My name is Tempie Satcher, and I wear several hats. I'm first a mom. I am a wife of 23 years. I am a grandmother of how many? I got 6, 7 grandkids, and then I'm a great grandmother of 2. And I just lost my son 7 months ago, but I still say that I have 2 children, so that's how we're gonna leave it like that. My son used to always tell me that now that I'm a caregiver, my mom is like my child now. He said once an adult, twice a child, and I say that a lot. Every day that I'm taking care of my mom. And I'm also a baker. I love to bake sweet potato pies. It's my passion. And so I turned my passion into my business. It became LLC January 21st, 2021. So with balancing my business and being a caregiver is a lot to me. I come from the natural hair world. I come from doing natural hair expos. You name it, I've done. I have 13 pages that I operate on Facebook.
Wow. Wow.
So, it's a lot to me. But when you become a caregiver, you have to learn how to balance things and prioritize. So all of the crowns that I've worn in the past is narrowed down, way down to like 2 things now.
Okay, so I thought this was a good topic, becoming a caregiver, because I think a lot of people are caregivers, and a lot of people don't know that there's a bunch of support groups out here to help caregivers, and a lot of people are struggling and don't know where to go and what to do.
Yeah.
So I figured we can maybe we can enlighten somebody and help people with their journey of being a caregiver also.
It's definitely a lot of information that they don't put on commercials and they don't really promote. I became interested in being a caregiver for my mom because, for one, you only get one mom, and that's
true.
my queen. And she had nurses aid from healthcare services that was taking care of her for maybe about 15 years or more. And I used to get a little bothered about how they didn't seem to take care of my mom correctly. They were feeding her bad food. They would leave, like, when you open up juices, it says on the containers to refrigerate after open. And a lot of times I would go to my mom's house and see the open juices on the floor, and mold sometimes would start growing on top of them. So I used to get so frustrated and asking. It would be several different nurse aides and home health care aides that was taking care of her. And I was like, well, do you all have children? Do you have children? I asked them individually, but would you feed your child what you feeding my mom? Because you have to treat her like she's a queen. She's my queen. You have to treat her, for you need to treat her like she's a child. And my mom, thank God, she still has a right frame of mind, that she was able to tell them a lot of things of what she wanted, what she didn't want, what she would tolerate, what she wouldn't tolerate. So I started seeing my mom kind of decline a little bit every time I would go over there. My mom is always this smiley person, jolly, always great and good to see her family. She would be excited to see her family. And then as time went on, I would start to visit her, and it just looked like she just sitting there looking sad. And I would, ask anything wrong, anything bother you, and she would seem to be afraid to talk in front of them. So I would get more information when they're gone, or when it's just me and my mom, by ourselves. And I just didn't like that. And so that rubbed me wrong for a long, long time. And at that time, I had my government job at the time. I called it my slave job. My government slave job at that time. And once I left my job, I started doing things for self-employment, doing things on my own, my passion and things of that nature. I ran my hair business for a while. So I'm just saying to say that several things went on with me where I could not take care of my mom, and I was watching home health aide take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
So once I really, I mean, moving forward and fast forwarding some years when I absolutely was tired of watching her decline. She has a caseworker, because this is another thing, you're assigned a caseworker through your doctor. I asked, was there any way that I could take care of my mom and do what the home health aide? And the caseworker was like, as a matter of fact, there is. I just was just saying it often, just talking, and one thing led to another, and I did what I had to do to become my mom's caregiver. So they want you to be CPR certified.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to get fingerprinted, and they want you to, really have a little experience with home health aid. So once I did that, one thing led to another. There's a lot of information out here.
So when did you actually become your mom's caregiver?
Last April of 2022.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it hasn't been quite a year yet. Next
You mean
month.
2023?
What's this? 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, 2023. Mm-hmm. So next month we'll make 1 year that I've been taking care of my mom, and I've learned so much and so much information. They don't advertise it. I'm like, why is it such a quiet kept secret? Because there's so many people that I've learned now that are taking care of their parent, and they just, sometimes it gets kind of overwhelming on one individual. So I say that to say that you really need support,
right,
from other family members or friends or someone else that can help you. I strongly suggest that you get help.
I think a lot of people forget about caregivers need support and help too. That it's a lot to take on to take care of a parent or to take care of anyone. It's a lot, and sometimes you need a break.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you need of release. So a support system I think is a good idea, but I realize that sometimes the support that you think you would get, you don't always get it from the people that you expect it from.
You're right.
Right.
You're so right. Fortunately for me, I do have my sister and my daughter that will occasionally come through. But with me, I don't get that opportunity to say, oh, I'm tired or I can't make it.
Right.
I have to do it. And this is something I want to do. I couldn't dare see my mom being in a nursing home. She wouldn't have done for me. She took care of me all of my life until I became grown. And so it's returning back what mother has done for us for many years. But you definitely need support. There's also a group that I joined on Facebook. I didn't even know that existed. As a matter of fact, they reached out to me. There's a caregiver group on Facebook. We kind of meet up on Sundays at 7 p.m. Don't ask me the name right quick, because I don't know if they want me to say anything right now, because it's a private. You have to have an invitation to, be a part of the group. But when we meet up, there's so many things that they share. Like one person was saying, well, if you start out caregiving for a loved one and they still somewhat in their right frame of mind, like my mom is, what do you do when they start to decline?
Right.
That's heavy and that's deep. And this person was saying that they have 13 family members that was supporting them, and each one would take time to, go and take care of their mother or grandmother at that time. And they said that seemed to work. But when you have a person that's actually doing it by themselves, what do you do when you see your parent start declining? May it be Alzheimer, or may it be some type of sickness that come through. What do you do? Because that could be very, very emotional.
Right. And I was a caregiver for my dad for at least 7 years. And it was hard to see him decline. I mean, he started beginning to have Alzheimer's. So to see someone that was strong all your life, now some days don't know who you are.
Wow.
And it's a very trying experience. and it was hard. It was very
I'm
hard
sure.
to see my dad like that. But like you, I had to be there for my dad because he was there for me all my life. He took care of me, so I had to make sure that I was able to take care of him. But Alzheimer's is a nasty disease that our parents go through. And sometimes you just don't understand, or sometimes people are in denial,
Right.
that what's going on with their parent.
Right, right.
You want to just think, oh, they forget. I forget things too. But you know the difference of somebody forgetting something and somebody not remembering, like, certain things,
Or who you are.
or who you are.
Yeah, that's true.
Or sometimes they'll call you somebody else, or they'll remember someone else and think that you're that person. So it was a trying time, but through the grace of God, I did the best I could.
Yes.
And I think my dad was well pleased.
I'm sure he was. And that's a lot. I hear a lot of, you're going to be blessed, you're going to be blessed. I know I'm blessed, but I'm not looking for a pat on the back. I'm looking for just being able to continue, which I ask God each and every day to give me the strength, the energy, the courage, and all the things that I need to do to continue to let my mother's days be a great, you know how they say, give them their flowers while they can still smell them. Continue to give me that strength because he could take me before my mom. Mom could still, because she's already outlived one of her children. It was three of us. And my younger sibling, you know, passed away in 2013. And so, you know, he could take me, but I do what I can while I can.
So how does your mom feel about, okay, now she's living with you and you're her caregiver?
Well, you know, if you was to ask her, she'd say, I'm living a life of rally. I don't even know what that means. But she tells people, because her church family calls her and they say, Mother, how you doing? She said, well, you know, I'm living with my daughter now. And she says, I'm living a life of rally. She said that her and her husband, they don't see me wanting for anything. So I'm not going back to my house. So we had to figure out what we're going to do with Mama's house because, you know, we can't sell this. Another topic, you know, in the reverse mortgage. You might want to find out some information about that, but we can't just up and sell it or buy it because it's a lot to that reverse mortgage. So anybody on that, that's a big ripple. Yeah.
So do your mom attend like activities or go to a center during the day, or are you her be all day, 24 hours a day?
Well, fortunately, like I said, Mom's still in her right frame of mind, and she's stroke bound. She had a stroke like in 2005, so it's got her now in the condition where she has to be wheelchaired everywhere. But my mother, she loves her church. She attends Union Temple Baptist Church every Sunday, and there's a good thing that there's a recreation center right across from where we live. So she attends this center every day, and it keeps her mind, you know, exercise and you know, so she do attend there from 10 to 2. They feed them, they do activities, they go on trips, and you know, keeping that mind sharp. I recommend it highly. So yeah, she is a part of something.
Like one of the things they did say to keep their mind sharp, like to give them crossword puzzles.
She loves doing those word search books, so we buy her those all the time. She get them as gifts. Yeah, she definitely loves doing her word puzzles.
How is your mom when it comes to other people taking care of her, being as though you're her? Because, you know, sometimes parents, if Tempie is the one that's doing everything for me and Tempie's not here and somebody else trying to fill in, sometimes they have a problem with that as they get older.
It's a very good point you make, because even though she has other children and grandchildren, I'm the one that she kind of lean because I'm with her a lot. And she gets a little anxiety if I can't, you know, take her up and down the steps or take her and like I provide her breakfast, her lunch, her dinner. I do all of that for her. So if someone else kind of do it, she's not going to be 100%. And like I told you, the saying that my son used to say, once an adult, twice a child. So it's just like a child. They get a little anxiety if their mommy leaves them. So I'm like mommy to my mommy.
So how does your husband feel about you taking on being a caregiver for your mom?
And that was definitely a good question, is because that was something I did have to ask him and see how he felt about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one of the best husbands in the world, and I'm so grateful to God that, he definitely was very supportive. He was like, oh, babe, we wouldn't have it no other way. So he helps out. He done spoiled me and my mom both. Every Wednesday he washes all of our clothes. So it's a thing where he's now helping. And then on his days off, he could choose his days off to be resting or do something for himself. But he helps me with my mom. Sometimes he treats us out to dinner. If she has outside doctor's appointment, he would assist me in taking her to her doctor's appointment. So he's very supportive.
That's good, because what I've realized is not only did I become a caregiver, my husband became a caregiver too. Just trying to show me support.
Yeah.
And to be there to help me when I was tired or weak or something. So it's good that your husband was there
truly a blessing
to help you out with that.
Yeah.
So as far as other family members, because what I realize is sometimes when you take on your parent and it's financial, you gain something financially, that sometimes other family members have an issue with helping out because you're benefiting financially from your parents staying there.
Yeah, I mean, verbally, I have not heard that, but actions can probably speak louder than words. But neither one of my two other family members that kind of help, they haven't said anything like that. But I can tell that because I am the one that's reaping that, and is taking care of the most of that, they probably make sure I do that, or they allow themselves to prioritize other things that they would have to do. And I don't want to say anything wrong because I don't get any type of slack verbally, because if I ask, they will help me.
I've heard that from other people. That's what I'm saying. That because I'm benefiting financially, that my siblings don't help or give as little help as possible.
Well, that is something I have heard, because I have a close girlfriend. She took care of her mom for maybe 17 years, and her mom was a diabetic patient, and she wound up having 2 amputations, both legs amputated. And this particular friend had like 6 siblings, and it was hard for them to get help from their other siblings. And like you said, if you're being financial, I don't even think she was getting any type of financial aid from anyone or any type of funds for taking care of her parent, but she wound up having a breakdown. And it became so overwhelming that she just mentally just kind of lost it, and she would be very frustrated, like, I don't understand why my sisters and them don't come and try to help me, or we got a brother that lives right here in the same home with the mom, and everything was on her. So that is a very valid question that you said.
I just wish that people would think about the caregiver that's taking care of your parent or your loved one, because they need help and support too.
Yeah.
So even if you go over and just sit with your parent or your loved one for like an hour or even 30 minutes,
be surprised
that little bit of time will help that person relax or get a mental break, or just help them maybe watch your parent while they go out to eat.
Yeah.
Or just any little thing.
And you're so great about that, for saying that, because I want to say about a month or 2 ago, I make Mondays my day where I just take my time. Because my mom, she kind of encouraged that. She's like, baby, when your husband's off work, he's off 2 days, Wednesdays and Thursdays, why don't you go and, do things for yourself? But even sometimes I like to be by myself sometimes.
Right.
Because my husband, he's a conductor on Amtrak. I don't mean to be saying too much of that, but it's okay. But he's a conductor, so the conductors are away quite a bit of time a week. And even when we have our date nights on Wednesdays and Thursdays, that Monday I chose to do me. I may go out, treat myself out. I like to sit at bars because I love my red wine. I'm a Cabernet kind of girl. And so I do those things, I would get out, and I like to work out, exercise. I like to go walking. I like to go to the gym. So those are things that Monday is my day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even take orders for my pies on Mondays. If you want to order, leave a message, and then you can pick up like the latter part of the week. I always tell people, give me 48 hours in advance anyway. So Mondays is whatever I want to do.
So, I mean, talking about your pies. So now that you're a caregiver, how do you incorporate your making your pies and juggling taking care of your mom?
Because you said, that word incorporate.
Juggle.
Yes, I have to juggle the time. So I'm with mom. I make sure she has her breakfast, her lunch, her dinner. She can, she's not like an invalid or anything. She could be by herself for like an hour. She's tucked away nicely in her room.
Mm-hmm.
So I would take that little time. And a lot of times I take my mom with me. We have a new wheelchair she has where I can take it apart and put it in my truck. So a lot of times I take her with me to places, and and I'm telling you, when I go to bed at night, I fall straight asleep because I use so much energy in the course of a day. So I juggle. I make everything within time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I bake. I have my bake day, and I have time where mama can, like I said, be by herself for just a small frame of time. But yeah, I work it out, work it in shifts.
So also about your pie, so I know that you have a commercial now.
Have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm. You will. And you know why you probably haven't seen it? Because I noticed that they show it like 5:14 or 6 o'clock in the a.m. this morning. And I felt like I was in a deep sleep, but something was like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And I heard the commercial, and I looked up, and there it was right on TV. It's on BET. Okay. So guys, look out for it. It's a commercial about Tempie and her pies. And I talk about how pie is in my name. I said my daddy knew what he was doing, when he named me Tempie, because my name is spelled Tempie. So pie is in my name. So I was destined to do pies.
So how did you get into doing pies or into the pie business?
Well, growing up watching my mother bake biscuits every weekend, she would do biscuits. People say, I know your mother taught you how to bake those pies. I said, no, actually, she never had a pie recipe. Mine came from being a little girl. Everyone wanted one of those easy bake ovens, and we couldn't afford one. Mm-hmm. So I would go outside on the front, because mother didn't allow us to go nowhere but on the front of the house. They need to bring that rule back. Couldn't go no further than that front step. Mm-hmm. So I would make up little mud pies outside and take grass, and grass had an aroma, so I felt like I was really doing something. When you smelled the grass, it felt like I was cooking. And then when you made the little mud pies, you take some dirt and put it in a little water on it and just kind of shape it up. I really was into it as a little kid. And as time went on and I became old enough to where mother trusted me with the oven, I would make like cheesecakes and cupcakes and different cakes and stuff like that. And again, moving forward, as time actually went on for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and different holidays, I would always bake a sweet potato pie, because that's been a staple in the African American mm-hmm. family for many, many years, all of my life. And I would bake the sweet potato pies, and my nephew was just so in love with those pies. And as time went on, people was like, well, people love me. If your family love your pies like that, why don't you ever think about turning your passion into a business? Mm-hmm. It took a long time for me to come to that conclusion to say that I would like to turn my passion into a business, because I had a government job. I told you I worked for the government slave for many years. So I didn't even think about doing it as a business. But when I got ripped from my job in 2002, I started doing hair, and then I would still bake for family and friends. Mm-hmm. But circumstances made me get into making the pies like more, and now it's a part of my living. I make good pies.
I saw you on Fox 5.
Yes, honey. That marketing
I think it was like Good Day DC.
The Line Lunch Hour.
Okay.
Yes, okay. I was on Line Lunch Hour, and that was a great thing. A lot of customers come out of that. And, I don't know if anybody else have felt this that's in business, but you get a little afraid of making certain steps when it's time to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know if that was a natural thing, but as I talk more and more to people that are in business, I think I'm a little afraid of making it big with my business.
What are you afraid of?
I'm afraid of making it there and then falling back down. Cause like right now we're here, but as you climb the ladder and then you say if you open up a brick and mortar, it's probably easy to do brick and mortar, but keeping the brick and mortar and then having to close up and and then your business fall. I'm afraid of that, and I honestly admit that. People probably like, no, you can't do that. You gotta, they say all kinds of encouraging words to me, but until I feel it myself, and I know I'm not getting no younger, and I realize that, but I put everything in God's hand. When He see fit for me to get brick and mortar, then I'll focus more on it. But right now, in my mind, I kind of become a little stumble in my own life or business.
It seems like you're in your own way.
I am.
You have to get out your own way.
I do.
And trust God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easier said than done, but I do need to let go and let God, because He is bringing in so many great people. You get maybe one or two that got something to say, but I've always been a work in progress. That Tempie growing up in Southeast DC, she's still in there. And it ain't far-fetched for me to go there. So I'm trying to, and I've done, and I've grown so much.
But you don't have to respond to everything.
Yeah, but sometimes we focus on the wrong thing.
Right.
You have all the great positive things, and all it takes is that one negative, and we're keen in on that one negative, and just focus on that. And that, woo, honey, you talking about takes me down. I'll be like, it just really, really gets to me. So when I do, like you say, get out of my own way.
Get out your own way.
I hope it's near, because I'm not getting no younger.
So, Tempie, what's some advice you can give someone that is a caregiver for their mom?
So, first thing I would say, start with Department of Aging. Do your due diligence. We have these cell phones. They're called smartphones for a reason. And just Google. And, I say start with Department of Aging, because the Department of Aging could give you a road to what you would need to do in terms of becoming a caregiver. One of the things I always ask people, do your loved one have Medicaid and Medicare? Because they're not going to advertise this on TV or anywhere. You're not going to see a commercial. You're going to see probably an agency that's looking to get other customers, but you're not going to see, information. So start with the Department of Aging, and it could trickle from there, because then you have to have information from your loved one's doctor, and then the doctor, then it's you assign a caseworker, and then the caseworker does all the other work.
And I believe too that if you do have family, try to set up a support group before you take on the parent, so you can know that as you're setting this up and putting this stuff in place, that you will have somebody that will be there to support you and help you when you're weak and tired, or need encouragement, or just need someone to come by and sit with your parent or sit with your loved one while you run errands, or while you just take a bath. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just think that it's very important for support groups.
It's very important. Very important. Mentally, emotionally, physically, is definitely important. So I strongly, but if you ever get with an agency, not with the agency, but if you ever become a caregiver and you have fundings from wherever you're getting your funds from, those are some of the things that's on the application, and you have to have at least 2 or 3 people as a support, and that's a given. So that's one way to actually get help. And then you sit around and maybe have family meetings and just talk a little bit about what's going on, what you're dealt with. If you're the head person that's going to actually be the caregiver, call meetings with other loved ones. Maybe if you have more siblings, grandchildren, or whatever, call on them, have a meeting, and then see how everybody feel, and just get it laid out on the table.
Because I think sometimes people try to take it all on themselves and not knowing that you need help.
And you know, I felt like that.
Yeah.
I felt like, well, look, I'm not gonna sit here and watch my mother decline in front of my face, like. And so I just felt like this big she-ra, like I could just do it all. But now reality has set in. I do need a break sometime, but I would never tell my mom that.
Right.
She can just see it.
Mm-hmm.
And still be a mother, you know, she say, well, babe, you know, I'm fine. Go to bed early or go out. Let your husband take you out. I'm fine. She always say, I'm fine.
Because you know what I realized? Our parents never want to feel like that they're a burden to us.
Oh, yeah, I know. And
You know,
I never want her to think that. But they're going to do that on their own anyway, you know. And I never wanted her to see if she's a burden, because she's not. Whenever she asks me something, I do it. No matter how tired I am. Sometimes I can feel myself getting a little snappy, and then I'll catch myself, you know, because, you know, it just happened. It's something in the heat of the moment that you can, that your loved one could ask you like a whole bunch of things back to back to back to back to back. And every day I'm not going to wake up feeling jolly and happy.
Right.
You know, I have my days, and sometimes I'm tired, more tired than other days. But I cannot be too tired to do what I need to do for my mother.
I remember my dad used to say, thank you all the time. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'd be like, Dad, you don't have to thank me. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
I said, all you've done for me all my life, this is the least what I can do for you. I said, so you don't have to thank me. But I think he just felt like every time I did something that he just had to thank me.
And that was so cute of them, but they do. They feel like they're burdening you, but you're not.
Nope.
And don't never, ever think, I don't know who it is out there that needs to hear this, don't ever for one moment think about putting your loved one into the nursing home. Never, because they would not have done that to us.
And plus, like you said, people don't take care of your parents like you think you can. And sometimes people put their parents in the nursing homes and you don't check on them on a regular basis, and you do not know the state that they are in if you don't check on them on a regular basis.
That's right. Well, we have it set up where Mom, you know, she has a routine every morning, and there's so many government programs, y'all. I'm telling y'all, there's a program called Safe at Home, and I'm giving y'all another information to write down. You got the Office of Aging, and then Safe at Home. They will come out and assess your place to see what your loved one needs. And through that, we have gotten a stair lift put on the front of the house so she don't have to go up and down the steps. We've gotten extra things in the shower and the bathroom where she can be comfortable in taking her shower and stuff. And thank God she's able to still do those things, even though she's stroke bound on one side. She still have, you know, some independence. And you got to let them be as independent as possible. Yes. It helps keep their mind sharp.
You know, because even though my dad memory was, I still had to be like, this still my father. You know, I still got to show him respect. He's still my father. Like you say, even though some days you be like, you want to lose it, but you still got to be like, this still my father.
Yeah.
I still got to show him respect because it's still my father. So if someone had to want to take care of their parent and still have to work, what ideas or suggestions do you think could benefit?
Yeah, well, if it depends on what state of mind or, you know, how their loved one is. If they are very, very much would have to have someone with them all the time, then you might have to put out a little money and bring in someone to help you. But like with my mom, she goes to a center, it's like a daycare for seniors. She's there for 4 hours. And I make sure either myself, my grandson who's 25, he kind of helps out a little bit too, or my husband, that we will be there to greet her when she comes back from the center. But if you don't have no one that could watch your loved one while you work, you would not have to when you get that financial
right.
So you wouldn't have to go to no other job when you become a caregiver for the information that you're going to do your homework for. Start with the Department of Aging, because they have the funds out there. Medicaid will pay for you.
I think a lot of people don't know that.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't know that. So that's why.
Because I would have never thought that someone's gonna pay me to take care of my father.
Yeah, there are programs out here that
Wow.
will take care. Yeah, they do. Because home health aid, you gotta realize they get their fundings from somewhere. So why not? And I'm so grateful that they became that this became, you know, available for loved ones to take care of their parents. So yeah, it's out there, y'all. Just do your due diligence. Like I said, start with Department of Aging, and then your doctor, your loved one's doctor, and from there, a caregiver. It's sort of like that movie that Claudine. I sometimes feel like that because when she has a caseworker that comes every month to check on and make sure I'm doing right and make sure she's doing well and stuff like that. So my mom is under a lot of government programs, which helps out a lot. So y'all want to find out from the caseworker, the doctor, the Department of Aging. You want to make sure that that your loved one benefit from all of the programs. They used to have, well, they still do, but they have a food Meals on Wheels that
I had that for my dad. And my dad didn't always like the food.
My mom didn't like the food either, so we kind of
had to doctor it up sometimes.
My mom loves my cooking, and that's all I can say about that. But the Meals on Wheels is really a good thing for those who absolutely cannot find the time to cook and take care of their loved one, because it can be overwhelming. So if they do like it, it helps. If they don't like it, doctor it up like you did. And, you know, and just continue to reap those benefits that the system has out here, because it's out here.
That's good. And I know there's probably different programs in where you live, from Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. But like you said, do your due diligence, do your research.
Yes.
And see what's out there that can help you and benefit your family.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Tempie, is there one last thing you want to say before we wrap up?
Well, actually, I think you pretty much covered it all. I think this is an excellent platform you have here to have people to come and kind of like express what's out there with wants and needs. So kudos to you. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm very happy and proud of you. I've watched you, you know, grow from one thing to another, and you're doing an excellent job. So keep up the great work.
Oh, thank you. We hope that you heard something that you enjoyed tonight. And if you have any questions, we'll try to put as much as we can in the description of this video. If you get a moment, we want you to like, comment, and subscribe. Good night, everybody.